I couldn't get any sleep, so I'm making an MMA news reactions video. I wasn't really actually trying to sleep. I'm just doing that for the intro, but just to create some intro. But, Hamza Chimaev expects to face Robert Whittaker next after Paulo Costa ran away. I'll give an early prediction and thoughts on that fight. And also, Kevin Lee returns to the UFC. I'll talk about that and other MMA news reactions. Let's get started, though. Let's get started. MMA ideas. Obviously, I'll put him in there as well. Yeah. Let's get started, though, with Hamza Chimaev expects to face Robert Whittaker next after Paulo Costa ran away. After Paulo Costa runs away, he expects to face Robert Whittaker next. And I don't mind this fight, to be honest with you. I don't mind this fight. I like the matchup. It's a test for Chimaev, I think Chimaev would have destroyed Kevin Holland, with relative ease. And he did so. And Nate Diaz before that, his original opponent. But I like Hamza with tests, I like this fight. And I'm sad and I'm happy for two reasons. I'll start with happy because it's good first. I like this fight. Hamza going to middleweight. If he wins this one, he owns the middleweight, in my opinion. Let's be real. If he beats Robert Whittaker, I think he owns middleweight. I think he owns Adesanya. I think he owns Pereira. I think he'll fucking destroy those guys with relative ease. Pereira is more of a test, but Adesanya would be fucking... You would get fucking humiliated. I can't say that. That's a tough word to say, to be honest with you. Humiliated. It would be disaster. But he's fighting. Apparently, he wants Robert Whittaker. I think before he said, I don't want to fight Whittaker, brother. I respect that guy. But I guess he's changed his mind on that. But it's a good fight. I'll give my prediction. I think Whittaker would win. I think Whittaker would win that by decision, 29-28 in a 3-rounder. 5-rounder, I can see a decision or a late 5th round TKO, depending. But in a 5-rounder there. But sad part is, I was so invested to see Chimaev against the top welterweights. Especially him versus Usman and Colby and Leon. I think that's the fight I really wanted to see before, I think that was the fight. I think that was the fight a lot of people wanted to see. Fights they wanted to see. I don't know why I keep saying fight. But Edwards Chimaev would have been a big build-up. Chimaev versus Colby would have been good. Chimaev versus Usman. But I guess he built himself to welterweight for absolutely fucking no reason. Okay, I'll just beat Li Jingliang, Gilbert Burns, Kevin Holland. I can fight Colby, but fuck all those wins. Fucking ruin Burns for nothing. Ruin Holland for nothing. Holland was on a bit of a streak before the Chimaev fight. Ruin him for nothing. Ruin Li Jingliang and ruin his fucking career. But he goes up to middleweight. I think he would stay at 170. I just think he can't make I don't think he can make the weight anymore. That's probably why. He can't make the fucking weight anymore. And he's going to 185. I think Whittaker would win. I think Chimaev would do good early on, but again, Whittaker's takedown defense, man, the counter grappling that guy has, it's too good. It's too good. And he should have won the second fight against Adesanya. I think he should have won that fight, that rematch against Adesanya. In that rematch, he should have won that fight. I think he's the best middleweight on planet Earth. Not now. Now that Pereira's champ, I think that's a bit different now, but the second best, you have to say. I think Adesanya is number 3 now. But, yeah. I think Hamza Chimaev, I think he'd lose to Whittaker. But it's a close fight, Maybe he can go out there, pressure Whittaker, and get an early KO. I just don't see it, man. Gilbert Burns gave him problems. And if Gilbert Burns is giving you problems, I know Burns is good and looking great recently, but still, if he's giving you problems, Whittaker's going to give you problems as well. So I can see Whittaker winning this one, kicks at range, the later rounds, pacing out Chimaev, landing shots, jabs to the body. I just think he'll be too fast and too quick for Khamzat Chimaev, who's going to be boxing heavy if it's on the feet and looking for a KO. Like, I just don't see Chimaev being the type of guy. Like, I think you need to be Adesanya to go tit for tat with Whittaker and do good. You know, and even then, Adesanya should have lost the rematch. He won the first fight, fair play, but Whittaker was lunging in a lot. I know that's a casual take, and I shouldn't really be saying that, but he was lunging in a lot. And Adesanya's gotten worse since then, in my opinion. Dislikes come in, but still, Whittaker will win, in my opinion. Slightly edged the second round of the strikes. Third round, I think he'll be winning it. Chimaev goes for a takedown at the end, can't get it. I just think Whittaker will win. Chimaev will lose, and that'll be the end for Chimaev. That'll be it for him, which is crazy. But the winner would get a title shot. That's how you do it. I like this fight, actually, but I was so invested with Chimaev versus Colby. Chimaev versus what's his name? Chimaev versus Edwards, Usman. These were the fights. Not more so Bilal. To be honest with you, Bilal just stinks up. No offense, Bilal, but he kind of just stinks up the bit of the spice at the top. You know, especially if he beats Colby, then he's now the new guy behind the title. You know? But yeah, I think that's the fight they're going to go. I think it's Colby Bilal now, to be honest with you. But yeah, I like this. I really do. I like this. That's so good. Yeah. Whittaker wins in my opinion there, though. We move on to other MMA news, which is Kevin Lee is back in the UFC after he was cut before, but he's now re-signed with the UFC. This is big news, man. Really good news. Kevin Lee back in the UFC. You see a picture here of Dana White. Yeah, I mean, this is good news. This is great news. To be honest, I think he went up to the UFC. I think he was trying to look for a fight. You know, I know he beat Diego Sanchez in that Eagle FC thing, Khabib thing, that completely died out completely. That is a complete dead. That's just a dead place now, you know. It's just dead. But yeah. I mean, this is cool news. I mean, I think Kevin Lee went up to the UFC and said, I can't really get a fight outside the regionals or outside the UFC. I can't really get anyone. Can I please come back in the UFC? I've did a lot for you guys. You know, I'm Kevin Lee after all. And the UFC were like, we'll give him another chance. So he's back in the UFC. Yeah, I'm not going to look it up, but I'd love to see him fight like guys like, you know, Max Griffin. You know? Max Griffin would be decent. Jack Della Maddalena, if he beats Randy Brown, would be decent. Jack Della Maddalena, Kevin Lee, I wouldn't mind that. But this is pretty good. Yeah. Wonder who he'll fight. But Lee's done favors for the UFC, man. Like, he's taken whoever they gave him. Like, Sean Brady, I think he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight Sean Brady. But then Brady pulled out, and then he fought D-Rod, who was unranked at the time. So he was like, screw it, I'll fight D-Rod. I'll fight Daniel Rodriguez. And he took the D-Rod fight. I just don't think Kevin Lee's great anymore. Depends who he fights, though. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing... Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a Magny fight versus Lee. Kevin Lee versus Neil Magny, but Magny's slightly ranked, so Lee needs to get at least 2 wins. 1 win, depends who he fights. But Lee versus Nico Price, Lee versus Philip Rowe would be a decent fight. Probably that one, yeah. Philip Rowe versus Kevin Lee, UFC Fight Night, Miami card. Let's do it. Let's stack these cards, man. Let's put another one on there. He said spring, though, he'd be back. So that's March till June. So let's do on the Miami card, or the May pay-per-view card, Kevin Lee versus Philip Rowe. That'd be good. Let's do that. Good for Kevin Lee. And other MMA news as well. I guess we can break it down. Marcel here. Yeah. Carlston Harris versus Abubakar Nurmagomedov. I think Ramiz Brahimaj pulled out of the fight, so Abubakar stepped in, but it was delayed till March 11th. Well, this is a good fight. I'll go Carlston Harris there. I think Abubakar is not impressive. He beat Jared Gooden and a shit Dagestani and that other guy he fought. The Abubakar's last fight. Who did he fight? Omar Gadziev. Yeah, that guy. He's not good at all. Harris is good. Abubakar has no stand-up, so I'll go Harris KO there. Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. Yeah, I think this is a good fight. I'll go Brad Tavares here, though. This is a good matchup for him. What is it, April 22nd? Yeah, I'll go Brad Tavares. I think he can win this one. Bruno Silva is not good. You know, I was arguing with the Discord with this one, but Bruno Silva is not great, man. Like, he made it close with Alex Pereira, I get it. But the takedown factor was there. He was fearing the takedown. It was kind of opposite with him and Gerald Mearshart, GM3. Him fearing the takedown, got clipped, and then guillotined. If GM3's clipping you on the chin, Brad Tavares will as well. Silva's got power in his hands, though, but I think he'll be less confident in this one, so I'll take Brad Tavares KO there. Yeah. And Silva won't shoot on him, because Tavares has elite takedown defense. Yeah, I got Brad Tavares there, getting that one done by KO. And in hindsight, he probably would have KO'd Gregory Rodriguez in Brazil. And Nali Lang, Brogan Walker. I couldn't give a fuck about this fight. Hope it's a draw. But yeah. But look, I went at MMA. The reason I made this video is because I saw something there. Saeed Yakub Kakramanov got cut from the UFC. You know, he said, before you see my name on the UFC roster watch, lol. UFC releasing me after one loss, so much hate. I've never had fair shake in the UFC. 3 fights almost in 2 years. Every time I walked into the cage, it felt like my debut. Shit, 3 fights in 2 years. Feels like they brought me in to lose. You lost to Saeed. The UFC should have done this. Saeed Yakub was a great fighter, man. He was a great fighter. And they cut him for losing to Saeed. I thought he was winning as well. But he gets cut for losing to Saeed. Why didn't you cut Cody Stamann for losing to Saeed? Same fashion. Stamann got done out of there in round 1. I know he's looking good now, but right after the fight, you should have cut him. That makes no sense. And Stamann's an older guy. I think, how old is Saeed Yakub? He could work his way back, but how old is he? Saeed Yakub Kakramanov. I mean, this is just pathetic. Why would the UFC cut him? Saeed Yakub Kakramanov. How old is he? Please be young. 27. Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good. Yeah. I think he's fine. Yeah. That's stupid, though, man. Why would the UFC cut him after 1 loss? That's so risky these days, man. You think 3 losses is enough, but then they kind of, 2 losses, you're out. 1 loss and you're out of the UFC. And it wasn't like it was his debut. Like, he had fights beforehand. Disrespectful, man. So disrespectful. Fuck the UFC for that. Another UFC comment. L. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Main takeaway of this video. Whittaker Chimaev is going to be big. But, let's make that one for May as well. Same with the Kevin Lee versus Philip Rowe fight. Make the main event Sterling versus Cejudo. Nunes versus whoever they give her. Pennington, Aldana, Nunes trilogy. Or Pena trilogy, sorry. And feature fight can be 3 rounds. Hamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. That's how you do it. And Kevin Lee on the headlining the prelims or on the pay-per-view card, depending how weak it is. So, yeah. Peace.